Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening to depending where you are across the world. I'm sure the latest news has shocked everybody about Nvidia confirming that we're not going to get any more cards. What's up, EF Guy? What's up, Xenomorph? Good to see you guys coming in. And it's been a bit. How's everything with your dog, by the way? I gotta say, Xenomorph. And we're just about to go live. Bam, guys, welcome to this edition of today's live stream, which we're going to talk about Nvidia's decision about canceling the upcoming 50 series Super and the 60 series. Well, not really canceled, but it's going to be further delayed. What's up, Prince Green? Good to see you. Glad to see you here. And I gotta say, I don't think too many people are honestly that surprised. We all kind of had a good indication that this was actually going to happen. We did speak about this, that we didn't really expect to see it at CES when it came to the 50 series Super. We'd all hope that Nvidia would surprise us all, but it's been a bit disappointing. Amir, great to see you. And I gotta say, thank you so much for all the different updates. You've definitely been a great help to the channel, and also a great friend as well. I do have to say, with Nvidia's decision, it's not really a surprise that they're really holding back due to the memory shortages. That's really the key factor. It's not that Nvidia, it's not that they don't want to make it. Well, in a way they don't. What they really want to do is that they want to create more for the AI companies, and they want to put their money, their investments into somewhere where they can definitely benefit the most. Same thing as all these other memory manufacturers such as SK Hynix, Samsung, and Micron. They're all in line for the same thing, for the larger bonuses. I mean, take a look at what Samsung did. I mean, who wouldn't say no to that? Especially if anyone worked at that foundry. They all ended up getting a bonus. If you guys don't know, they typically get a bonus every year at the end of the year of how many products they end up selling. And well, at the end of the year, this was actually their most that they've ever made. So for example, somebody was making, say, roughly we'll just throw out a rounded number out there. If they were making, say, $100,000 a year, they actually ended up making that same exact annual bonus, or even a bit more. Xenomorph.
At Xenomorphing 9539 became a member. At Xenomorphing 9539 celebrates 3 months of membership. The integrated graphics times are coming back soon.
Yes, I have it's a great indication for that. I think there is definitely a lot of green lights for that. For integrated graphics, they certainly have improved well over time. That could be something that they are moving a bit more into. It would make a lot of sense why Nvidia started working with Intel, and maybe that's where they're going to put the more focus for gamers. And that could be a very real possibility in the future. Now, Panther Lake has been really impressive with that. If you guys haven't seen it, with their 6 graphical cores that they typically have in their CPU die, it's quite amazing with their iGPU. So I wasn't. Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's okay, Xenomorph. Hey, I've always appreciated you. I know you've been busy. You've been missing for a while. You've been MIA from us. I'm sure Wasabi and everybody will be coming in. And I got to say, Wasabi ended up picking up the ROG Matrix, the RTX 5090, which is insane. And I'm sure he'll come in and talk about it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pick it up on this Friday when he was supposed to receive it. Oh, Waffle Skater. Awesome to see you. I love the gold duck emoji, man. I've been working insane hours. I'm gonna work soon again today. Man, I gotta give it to you. It's great that you're putting hard effort, especially everybody's been putting a lot of effort when it comes to working on building their PC, especially today. Now I do want to, and now I'll probably announce it now, and I'll announce it a little bit later too, that we're going to do for the earlier streams. What I will do from the 8 to 8:30 period will be a members only stream, and that way it would be a little bit easier, I think. And then afterwards, we'll go into the regular stream. How's that sound, guys? Yeah, feel free to post up your build, Dave. You can put it up into the Discord. If you want to share your build, you could show your photos and you can even share your specifications. Yeah, so what I would do is instead of, I'll have members only at first, and then we'll switch it over to a regular stream right after. That way, we don't have to toggle two different streams. I think maybe that would make a bit more sense. So I was waiting for the bubble to burst, but I couldn't anymore because the trigger on the Corsair Vengeance, uh, the Vengeance CL6000, yeah, that's actually a great deal. If you could get it for $430, that's decent. It's pretty wild to say to think that that's actually a decent deal, but it is. Considering that we've seen prices drop slightly when it comes to the 64 gigabytes, which is a positive signal, the AI bubble is more than likely slowly deflating instead of an actual pop. If it was a pop, everything would automatically just drop down into its expected hardware pricing. But the truth of the matter, because of how expensive everything is now, I wouldn't be surprised if the pricing would change slightly, but it definitely should be much cheaper than what it is today. So, did you hear two? Yes, I did hear the 290K. You know, I was actually making a short about that, but I haven't had a chance to finish it up, and I will be posting that today. But it is expected that the 270K and the 250K will be also coming out. The thing about these two Intel processors, I can say that I have a lot of high hopes for them. 5070 Ti prices are going down in Hungary. Oh, nice. These are all positive signals. You can tell my brain's still half asleep. Signals. Look on video cards. Oh, yes, the 270K and the 250K. Absolutely. So you have the AMD Ryzen 5500 stock cooler with the GPU Asus RTX 6600 XT overclock, B8 gigabytes, motherboard B550, Kingston DDR4 2. Okay, so it's a decent build. It's a little bit out of date. So if I were to rate your build for now, this is going to be under 2026 standards. If I were to rate your build today, it's going to be based on, I would say about a 5. It's decent. You'll be able to get through everything today. Um, you'll be able to, I'd say 4 and 5. You'll be able to navigate through most modern games, assuming you're gaming on 1080. We're at 720 even. And for that, you should be decent. It's a decent build. So 1,000, okay, under 1,000 Australian dollars. We're gonna go check Micro Center and Newegg in a bit. Can I use the RTX 3080 GPU in a Gen 5? Absolutely. There's no reason why you can't. You could absolutely use a RTX 3080 GPU and a Gen 5 PC. So Waffle Skater says, I missed the old naming. It was easy to know what CPU was. Yeah, it's pretty insane. I hope that they're kind of reverting back to it, but it almost seems like they plan on continuing the whole series line. At least it's in the double digits. I mean, the triple digits now to make it, I guess, more simplified. We can all predict that the next upcoming series, when they do come out with it, it's going to be towards more like 300 series when it comes for Nova Lake. I think Nova Lake will be quite the changeover. So Gaming Pitch says, yo, bro, I'm going to the US soon this summer. Could you tell me if it, yeah, it's absolutely safe. Let me know where you want to visit in the US. So, hey, buddy, in today's market, nothing is out of the, yeah, that's true. We are going to more of the retrospect, by the way. I do agree with that. So, 6800 XT versus the 3080 of the two will be the best for the first time builder. So I can certainly tell you they're both great GPUs to go with. You more than likely could get away with 6800 XT is decent, but I've been hearing it can be quite, it can have some issues on some of today's standards, but you can certainly get away with it. So if you're looking for a bit more of a budget, 6800 XT is great to go. 3080 is decent, as long as if you're gaming. I'm assuming a 10 gigabyte model or a 12 gigabyte model, depending on which one you get. It will be a decent GPU to game on. Just don't exceed over 1080, and you won't really have any complaints in gaming wise. Just don't order ice. Yeah. Like Oklahoma, New York, and maybe Detroit. Oh, okay. I don't know about Detroit, but I can honestly say Oklahoma and New York, you'll be okay. My wife and I built full AMD PCs, both with 9070 XTs and 90. That's awesome. Much respect for you. I'm glad that everybody out there who has a 9070 XT, you gave it a chance. Now, please, orderly, let everybody know how you feel about the 9070 XT between you and your wife's build. How is it gaming performance wise? And what type of display do you guys game on? So, Dave says, I'm stuck at 720. Nothing wrong with it, especially how expensive it is to game any higher resolution today. We've seen at CES that they do have even higher resolutions. They do have 5K, they have 6K. It's kind of funny how it is, because originally you would think you would see more 8K displays, especially in 2026. But it seems that they slowly had regressed because they felt that it was too much of a jump, I guess, and they want to be able to capture the same rate, the same type of higher refresh rates when it comes to gaming. And you can certainly do that with 5K and 6K. But honestly, I am happy that they are coming out with more 5K ultra wides, which is something that's been due for a really long time. So it's 720. Yes, just as Borderlands 4 would say. So Zeno says, "Oh, by the way, I found out I have 2 gigabit internet, but only 700." That's when you call up your ISP, Zeno, and say, like, what the hell's going on? Like, you guys are supposed to be sending 2 terabytes, and believe it or not, they can fix it really quick. It's literally for them just like a dial. They can adjust it to your speeds that you're supposed to get. Either that, or they might tell you to get a new router, assuming if you have fiber. So the 9070 XT, 9070 XT is a nice for a dude like me who plays 1080p low. The 4090K I would not perform as good as those settings in WZ. Yes, that's the thing. The 9070 XT is a card a lot of people sleep on. Don't sleep on it. If I were to build a PC today, I would go with the 9070 XT. And if you guys are curious which one, I do have it in the description box down below. Now, the reason why I say that is because you don't have to spend as much. And we're going to go to Micro Center. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And again, you can get decent rates. And AMD's Adrenalin software has been great, especially since last year of 2025. And it's just been constantly improving. I know there's so much shit you hear about AMD's Adrenalin software, but a lot of it is definitely been overblown and still kind of dying from the older Adrenalin software that they used to have. But now it's so much more easier. You can even overclock with AMD's Adrenalin software today. So we're going to go into Micro Center right now, and we could take a look at the 9070 XT. So hype, yes, absolutely, Amir. I am 100% hype for Resident Evil 9. Excited. It's going to come out for us in a few weeks. So it's here in Germany for 400 euros cheaper than the 5070 Ti. That's why we went for them. Benchmark wise, they are even faster. Ray tracing, it's not good, but they are barely games that use it. And the thing is, ray tracing, this is one of the things that has been blown out of proportion. Don't tell me they ran out of 9070 XTs already. All right, so we're going to go and take a look in PC parts, and we're going to look for it manually here. But for the 9070 XT, ray tracing is actually excellent on it. It's equivalent to a 40 series card. For anyone that doesn't know, what's up, Mark? What's up, Rugal? Great to see you. Happy to see you. Um, and I gotta say, it's that's also something that's been overblown when it comes to AMD cards. The ray tracing is actually excellent. I had no issues with the 9070 XT. It's more of the path tracing that gives issues. Path tracing is a bit more of an advanced technology, but not everybody really cares about gaming on path tracing. You know what? I'm gonna throw out a poll for everybody out there because I'm a bit curious to hear everyone's opinion on this about how you feel about ray tracing. So we're gonna go here. I'm going to open up a poll for you guys and ask if anybody out there does game on path tracing because that is what AMD certainly promotes the most. Not AMD, what Nvidia currently promotes mostly when it comes to their GPUs. So we're gonna put, do you play with path tracing? So the poll is about to come out, and you can feel free to vote on the poll. You just simply put 1 or 2. You select your selection, and it will move the graphical poll. So, Waffle Skater, welcome back again. So I need RAM. I think we all do, honestly. I want to reach out to actually a couple companies to try to work with it. I was hoping to do this Intel build a bit sooner, but from the looks of it, maybe I'll put a poll out for everybody out there to hear what the requested results are. So far, we got no one that plays on path tracing. We got no. So can you shout out some parts for me, please? Oh, what kind of parts are you looking for? Is it? You got to be a bit more specific because parts can be anything. Oh, yeah. For some reason on my chat, it didn't say hi to Rule. No, of course I don't mind saying hi twice. Xenomorph. I honestly can't see any difference when I use ray tracing, for example. Yeah, most people don't. You have to really pay attention to notice the difference. I can say you'll notice a difference in Cyberpunk if you go in from a psycho mode and to psycho mode, and then you have the path tracing on. Of course, it takes quite the performance hit for anyone that does have a Nvidia card. So most people don't. That's what sells mostly when it comes to Nvidia's core cards. That, and because it also does have CUDA cores that people love to certainly take advantage of. And Ashura says, how long can I run games with a 5080 gaming PC on 1440 till you need a you're fine. You're 100% fine. So if anyone out there is curious about your lifespan when it comes to your GPU, if you have the 50 series, even the 40 series, you're more than likely going to be perfectly fine, especially for the next 2 or 3 years. And this all falls into line with Nvidia's delay when it comes to their GPUs. If there's a delay on their GPUs, it does not mean that these devs could actually create a next gen type of game. Because if they do, of course, then nobody can really play it. So they're going to have to actually fine tune these games, make them a bit more playable, which is better, honestly, in my opinion. In a way, it's kind of a blessing in disguise if you think about it. Sure, we're not getting the 50 series Super. We're not getting the 6000 series maybe in 2027, but that's okay because now the developers can actually focus on working on a game where it's not terrible. There's a lot of games out there that we do end up purchasing. On day one, we get this large 200 gigabyte patch for this game that should have been done in the first place. So hopefully game devs do certainly make games better, and not really hopefully, they have to actually make games better and improve them for playability usage and for a better experience when it comes to gaming. We don't buy a game just for it to be halfway done, especially for $70 or $80. So ray tracing, path tracing was supposed to make the game devs easier on the devs. Absolutely, Pillowcoon. I should have read your comment first before I said what I said, but exactly, you hit the nail on the head. So what's your opinion on the Steam Deck? Steam Deck is awesome. It's a great type of device if you're looking for something portable. Now, it is a bit out of date when it comes to specification wise. I don't think Micro Center has Steam Decks, but if they did, I would imagine. Um, Let me take a look. We'll take a look, and that way I can share the specifications with you. It is a bit out of date. If you are looking for something like a Steam Deck, or you can even get a console like an MSI, say if you want the MSI A8 Plus, MSI Claw 8 Plus, or you want Asus's ROG Xbox Ally, or you want the Lenovo Legion Go 2, technically you can install SteamOS in any of those type of handheld devices. You don't have to get SteamOS to do it, but if you want specifically, I mean, you don't have to get a Steam Deck to do it, but if you specifically want a Steam deck, then there's nothing wrong with that. I certainly can tell you that Steam says, or Valve says, that they are not planning to develop a handheld anytime soon. The reason being is because they're waiting for a much more advanced SoC to end up releasing. And once it does, then they will install it for the next generation for their Steam Deck. They feel right now, everything like from the Z1 Extreme to the Z2 Extreme has been too minuscule for them. So they're waiting for a much more of a larger graphical leap before they continue on. It would be great timing for them to release it during the Steam Machine. Allegedly, they're going to release the Steam Machine at this upcoming quarter. If they do, then of course, then that would be great timing on their part. But more than likely, I don't see that happening. But I'm curious about how many people are actually interested in this Steam Machine at the same time. So, Zapper says, I just checked online and it could be several things. Okay, talking to the Genomorph. Let's see. Nvidia cards have performance hits when people update them on January. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, weirdly. That is a large problem that does happen, especially with the KB50704 109 updates. Do not update with that card. Do not do that update. It's terrible, especially for anyone that has an Nvidia card. You will get noticeable frame drops if you do install that update. And Rugal says, so my friend wants to upgrade his GPU so he can either go second-hand 7900 XT or first-hand 5070. So I recommend the 5070 because the better ray tracing DLSS 4.5 and power efficiency. He generally plays single-player games and sometimes Tarkov. So on a 2K ultra-wide 100Hz monitor and 7700X, what would you recommend? So what I would recommend, especially if you want to take advantage of something like DLSS 4.5 77, and he's gaming on a 2K ultra-wide at 100Hz, a 5070 is plenty, actually. 5070, I think, was spot on here. I wouldn't recommend the 7900 XT. That wouldn't make sense for him. I would say 5070 is the way to go. I'd agree, especially that it's new. The 7900 XT is a great card, but I feel that it's going to be a bit dated. I mean, if you wanted to go with another card, 9070 XT is a great option, but of course it does cost more than the RTX 5070. So when do you think the prices will go down? I think the prices will actually end up going down somewhat soon because now we all know that Nvidia is going to be a bit stagnant when it comes to their releases. They're not going to come out with a new line of cards. They're not coming out with the 50 series Super anymore. It's planned that they're coming out with the 6000 series, obviously. We all know it's going to come out eventually. But, of course, everything has been postponed for who knows how long. And that's going to be part of the reason why the prices will also go down. Also, the indications of AI just cooling off a bit. Less investors want to spend money. They feel like they're not making enough profitability at this point. They're spending much more than they can chew. So they're unable to make the profits that they currently are spending on now, let alone trying to even make some capital. So it can happen very soon. More than likely, we're going to start to see like declines of pricing. I think starting as soon as probably next month, we could start to see some declines, and that's if everything goes according to how it's looking. But from what it seems like, it's not looking good for them to hold up these prices too long. It's not stable at this point. So, Jenner says, Have you ever tried Dead by Day? I heard a lot about that game. I haven't got to play it though. I would love to play it. Um, I'll look into it. I'm gonna go to the Steam store and check it out. In fact, Waffle Skater says the 7900 is 2200 more than the 5070. Real? What? That makes no sense. Mario one ups. What's going on? Probably one. Yeah, that would. Zapper says, at the rate things are going, I'm about to suck up the cost and purchase my 8K plan build now. It was about 7.3. It was at 7,300 a few months ago. So just bite the bullet and buy it up. Again, if anyone needs a PC, you certainly can build one. We found deals on some NVMe's. Of course, it's not ideal for anyone to purchase an NVMe at $300 for 2 terabytes, especially something at PCI Express 4 doesn't make sense. We did find a crucial P510 that Micro Center has, so I'll share this with you guys. If you are looking for a NVMe and you need a brand new build, or you need a secondary drive that's cheap, you can get the P510 actually for a decent deal. The P510, you can get it for $155. Or you can even get the 2 terabyte, which is $270, which makes a lot more sense than the Samsung 990. The Samsung 990, again, is PCI Express 4, and it costs a little bit more than this, like $30 or $40 more even. So go with the crucial P510 if you're going for a SSD, or if you're going for NVMe. That's certainly the way to go. Battlefield 6, oh, I definitely got to hop on. It's been a little bit since I got to play some Battlefield 6. Has there been any updates ever since the Winter Offensive? That's the last one I really got to see. And then I stopped playing for a little bit because I got wrapped up in some other games. So let's check out the PNY. Yeah, let's check out PNY's SSDs. So if anyone coming in is curious about the whole Nvidia situation, it's true that they are 100% going to delay the 50 series Super and the 6000 series. So if anybody out there, so let me close out this poll for everyone. It looks like everybody voted no. Nobody uses patch racing. And if that's the case, then why go with an Nvidia card? At that point, you might as well just not get an Nvidia card. You might as well just go AMD. Because that's more of the bigger factor, unless you are more of a content producer. You like to produce content, or you use it for some sort of graphical design. Here goes PMY. They have a great deal for their 4 terabyte 3D NAND Gen 4 for 400. That's actually not a bad deal. You just risk losing everything. That's all. If you don't really mind that, then that's okay. So Waffle Skater says the 7950, so 2200 means it's better, right? Yeah, I know, it makes no sense, right? Unknown Poster says just hopped into the stream. You saw the crap ton of 5090s for gigabyte on Micro Center stores. The Tussin store. Oh, really? They got that many? You know what? You have me intrigued, because now I'm gonna look at the 5090 side. Let's take a look. We're going to go over to the GPUs here. Let's see what they got in. We should have went to Micro Center this morning, guys, if that was the case. Let's see. All right, so we're going to filter it out here, and we're going to look for 5090s, GPU chipset, 5090s. This is going to be the Miami sector, just to let you guys know, not the Tustin store. I'm just curious. Oh, wow. Yeah, they did. You weren't kidding. 30, they have 25. They have over 25 in stock. 3,300. Wow. It's a good call. So if anyone is looking for a 5090, they do have him in stock at Micro Center. And this is, again, the Miami location. It sounds like Tustin has it in location, so that's great news. Charitar, what's going on? If you purchase motherboards directly from their site, MSI will undercut their prices and CPU and M.2 storage. Can't wait to buy the B850M Power. Go for it. That would be awesome for you. AI Nvidia to the max. Absolutely. They're going to be focused on AI. I wouldn't be surprised if their next generation GPUs will feature some HBMs instead of G7. Wouldn't that be insane? Just imagine if they had GPUs with HBMs in them. But again, they're more for like AI accelerators. Uh, I'm I'm shocked. I tell you, I'm shocked. I'm pretty sure absolutely was nobody was surprised about Nvidia's announcement. I don't think anybody was. I gotta ask, what did everybody think of when Jensen Huang came out, was going to that restaurant? If you guys saw that clip, if when he was going to the restaurant and they asked him about OpenAI and about his current investment of putting $100 billion towards OpenAI, and he said, "No, I've never said that." He said, "I said up to $100 billion. I never said 100 billion." What are your guys' thoughts of that? So, um, crazy that they say not a bad deal for. I know, I know, it's insane, right, Xenomorph? For like something like that, that wouldn't be that bad of a deal. It seems like Gigabyte's the best option to go with. We're gonna go with in stock only guys and see what they have. And okay, so they do no. Why is it showing it? That doesn't make any sense. I put in stock only. I guess this is what the store has, and the only one they do have is the Gigabyte card. But still, nevertheless, for anyone that is looking for a 5090, they certainly do have it. So, if File Explorer takes forever to load sometimes, does that mean my drive is going bad? What type of drive do you have currently? So Flapjack says, my current choice for my 5080 sim racing setup is I'm getting an LG Ultra Gear. Good choice. Just weighing it up, should I get the 1440 or the 5K 2K for a 5080? I'll tell you what. The best option for anyone, just like in Flapjack's situation, if you are looking for a racing sim or a similar like type of build, I would say going with the 5K 2K is a bit more future proof. If you go with the 5K 2K, you can get a much better and clearer experience. Especially if it's like OLED, you'll definitely get better picture, deeper blacks, and you get a much better gaming experience. Now, in the future, say if you do want to upgrade your GPU, like say, does that obviously like 4 years down the line or something, 4 years down the line, now when you upgrade, you have a more up to date monitor compared to a display where it is at 1440 and it would be considered dating at that time. So I would say 5K, 2K would definitely be a great choice to go, especially if you have the current disposable cash to do it. If you don't, if you're a bit more budgeted, then of course, throw that into the mix, throw that into the equation because that's always going to be important. So, when Nvidia had announced recently, do you believe GPUs in general will go up again? Especially, I think they're going to stagnate. Originally, I felt like they were going to go up in pricing. Um, I believe they're going to start to stagnate when it comes to their GPUs because again, the 50 series is that's where they're going to be for at least the next couple years. And I know it's weird to hear that. Usually, you're always hearing that a super is going to come out, or you're going to see a lot of different editions for sure of the 50 series. Just like you know what's pretty dope though? They came out with the Crimson Edition RX 9070 XT. I thought that was dope. You're gonna see more stuff like that. You're gonna see different limited editions. Those will be obviously a bit more money to spend on if you want something like that. But I think the pricing is going to end up stagnating. It's only going to go up so high until to a limit. And I feel that it's the same way even with the 5090s because they're only going to be able to produce so many. I mean, like look at Gigabytes. They got over 25 in stock. And what we'll do is we're going to monitor this and see how quickly they sell it. That will indicate on how the sales will go. If this sells out within like the next 3 days, and obviously that's not a good sign at all. That means more than likely that it seems that people are there's obviously a need then. If it doesn't sell that quickly and they still have 25 in stock, then it's not going to go up rapidly in price. It just really depends on the demand for a high-end card like a 5090 or any other card, in fact. Which makes me a bit curious to see if they got the 5070 Ti's in stock. More than likely they do. Sounds like a big shipment came from Gigabyte. So we'll definitely check in on the graphics card front and we'll filter it out here. So the NVMe M.2 Samsung 970 Evo, good. It's a decent NVMe. Um, Again, great for gaming. Anybody that is planning to game on an NVMe, it's not going to be that much of a difference when it comes from even PCI Express 3 all the way down to PCI Express 5. Get PCI Express 5 only if you can find a decent deal on it. If you see PCI Express 3 at the same exact deal, 269 for example, that would be just doesn't make any sense. What's up, Abner Rodriguez? Um, let's see, must be 99 billion. Would you go for a 1440p if you had a 5080? If yourself is upgrading to 5080 flagship model, whether you mean like the Founders Edition, whether if the 5090 looks similar in the future or a 5K monitor. Okay, so if you have a 1440, again, as I just mentioned it to you, I would say just go with the 5080 and the 5K 2K display. It would be a much more beneficial. But again, if you're strapped for cash, you'll enjoy the experience just as much on a 1440. The only thing I would recommend if you go 1440, go OLED. It makes a hell of a difference. So good thing I was able to buy all my stuff new build last year. I started building in January and finished buying. That's awesome. Now you're out of this mess. And for anybody that currently does have a PC build, you don't really have to worry about this current situation that we're in. And the reason being is because you already have your PC together. The ones that I'm really concerned about more are those who haven't had a PC build done yet or were planning on a PC build. I'm glad to hear that people are willing to end up getting a PC. Just laughing at Waffle Skater because he's like, cut out my kidney, or does Micro Center do it for free? They probably do it for free. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got a chop shop in the back of Micro Center. You're like, oh yeah, so that's so what's in that room? So yes, 5090 to clarify in the Santa Clara store. Yes. Thank you for sharing with everybody out there that is looking for a 5090. So Rugal Bros, he has said that I do have a limited edition card, the 980 Ti MSI Gold, though I have no idea how rare it is. You should look it up out of curiosity. The 5090 FE compact size is so impressive. Absolutely, it's awesome. Kilobyte, what's going on? Good to see you, brother. Nano D Milo service. I have recently bought a PMY 3090. Good luck. For 470 euros, it is in very good condition from enough for me for everything. Yes. What's up, Wasabi? Good to see you. How is everything? How's your build coming? I know you've been busy with work. I know you've been trying to get your streaming running. Yikes for apart if your GPU melts. Good morning, Z-Man. What's going on? This is my specs for what I want everyone. Good morning. So I'm glad we got more people here. I do want to announce to all my wonderful members out there, make sure to join the membership if you guys aren't part of it. I'm telling you, it's really cheap. It's 100% worth it. We will be switching into members only on Monday mornings. Not Monday mornings, Saturday mornings. And then from like around 8 o'clock to 8:15 to 8:30. And then we'll switch it back over to a regular live stream. We'll just kind of blend it in instead of making two separate chats. I mean, separate streams. I think that would definitely make a bit more sense. So, /builds, glad to see you as always. So I have my main PC and I have all my needed components for a planned second PC. So I'm good there. So 1986 BNIC says, I'm just getting some hardware parts, 1 or 2 pieces at a time. Just had to refresh my thread there. I already got the extra GPU, PSU, and the extra SSD M.2. It's just stored away. I got a decent pre-build to hold me over. That's awesome, as long as if you have a PC ready for you to go. Ernesto, what's going on? How's everything? I know you've been working hard and on your classes. My build's due. I've been done about August. I've got the RAM early. Good thing you did. My first PC, I'm thinking of 1440p for the Ultra Gear. Might get it sooner. Yes, it's too much. It could be too much. I haven't seen the prices of 5K, 2K. I would imagine it's probably pricey. I would love to upgrade myself to something like that. But yeah, it's not necessary for anybody out there. If pricing is a concern, go 1440. Just go OLED. That would be my highest recommendation there. If you choose 1440, and you will not feel like you're missing anything. The colors are just awesome on it. It just gives you a much more immersive experience when you are gaming on an OLED monitor. For those who are concerned about things like burn-in, it's there's so much technology now inside of OLED monitors that it's something certainly less to worry about. I will start streaming next month. I will have to buy another key light. I also want to buy 2 more key lights for recording videos. The light in the living room sucks. Yes, get as many lights as you can. That would be certainly my tip. Get as many lights as you can. I have a good PC to keep up with maintenance. My boss told me he wants to build a new PC. He said the last time, really, 1997. That's a time. That's PCs are so much more different from the 90s for sure. It's way different. I hate when people do members only streams. I'm not made of money. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, you don't have to join the members only stream. You could just join in at 8:30. Of course, this is for anyone that doesn't want to join the membership. And also, again, feel free to check out the memberships. And I'm sure if you saw it, it's honestly not that bad. So I hate to break the news about the RAM and make sure you have that. Make sure you give them the whole spiel about like find him a chair first. Tell him to find a chair, and tell him that he may want to sit down, because you don't need him fall fainting when you tell him the prices. King Claus, what's going on? So Amno Rodriguez says he has a Ryzen 9950X3D Astral. Else, oh, that's a nice card, by the way. 96 gigabytes of G-Skill Trident Z Royals in silver, ASUS ROG Crosshair X870E, and 1300 watt Lean Li PSU, 11 Corsair QX140. Man, that's quite the collection of fans there. And 2 terabytes of Samsung's 9100 NVMe. You know, if I were you, I'd keep that case in a locked, confined area. I gotta say, you don't want anybody to know your specifications. Do not freely speak about your specifications to anyone. Make sure nobody knows exactly your exact location. Make sure you don't have any Apple tags on you, because that is some high value stuff there. Will you buy the Lightning? I wish I had disposable $5,000 or $6,000 cash. And I would love to get it if I could, but realistically, I wish I could get it. I can't get it. I'll try to reach out to MSI and try to get it, and but more than likely, I probably wouldn't get it. So, do you think RTX 2080 suffices? And it's a decent card, and it just depends on what type of games that you are planning to run. Let's take a look to see if they got some 5070 Ti's in stock, because I am curious about what type of chipsets that they currently do have at Micro Center here. So, what do you think about dual? It's not necessary. Dual GPU setups are not necessary. I could understand the reasoning for some. Like for example, if you have a 5090, I know the biggest thing is the whole physics. But of course they threw physics back in there as well. So it made sense then, because then you can always run another GPU that can, like for example, a 3080 Ti and a 5080, for example. If you were running those two, it would make sense because of the physics issues. If you wanted to play a game that involved physics, like if you're a big Mirror's Edge fan or something. But then it again, it wouldn't make sense. Not today, unless you're doing more multitasking. So they do have some in stock. They do have the Gigabyte WindForce in stock, triple fan, 16 gigabytes at 1100. So a lot of gigabytes been back in stock, it seems like. And of course, PNY for anyone that is looking for the PNY flexibility here. So do you think, let's see. The other thing I would like to get, second NVMe for a second PC, is my boot NVMe for 5000 gigabytes. Hoping to find a second and a slightly higher. You can find one. You certainly can, but for if you're looking for what type of storage capacity. So if you bought the MSI Lightning instead of the Hatsune Miku 5080 with your plug with Asus, I would yeah, yeah, I wouldn't mix that in. That wouldn't make sense. Talking of rare cards, they made a 20th anniversary edition Golden 980 Ti back in 2016. Do you think they'll have a 30th anniversary 5090? You know, I would think they would. They might as well at this point. I could see them pulling something like that off. Uh, I can say though that you do have the 40th edition, the 40th year anniversary edition. Of course, if you guys seen that, I did post up that video where Gigabyte has their RTX 5090. It's quite the card. 140 millimeter fans. That's got to be on that thing. It's the 5090 Infinity. Again, it's going to end up releasing. I can't imagine how expensive it's going to be. That's 40 years, that card, 40-year anniversary card. And of course, Asus also has their 30th year anniversary card coming out as well. So, so Abner Rodriguez says, LOL, I got a 2K of 556 and there you go. That's a smart way to do it. That's how you guard your house. How about the Intel Arc B580? Good option. B580 is actually a decent one. I'm starting to question. That's when you start to question things about AMD. Like, will there ever be a 990 coming out? They need to. They need to take this opportunity and take advantage of it. But they got so wrapped up in the whole AI race as well themselves. If you guys got to see the keynote for AMD, it was practically mostly all AI. And I don't know. This is the second time they've done this at CES. And honestly, it makes me not want to go to AMD's keynotes anymore. Because I'm not going to sit there for 2 hours to listen about AI. That's just nonsensical. Especially for everyone here that's looking for PC hardware. I was hoping for at least the 9850X3D to be added to the slide, but instead it was more like of a silent drop. They released it January of January 28th. They dropped the 9850X3D, but not really too much talk about it. Of course, the specs were out there. Not that much of an upgrade over a 9800X3D. Almost kind of like trying to hush us, like trying to calm the gamers down so that way they can focus more on the AI building infrastructure. So I gotta say, I don't see it coming anytime soon, especially where their focus is today. Unless something rapidly changes, maybe they'll start to realize that in order to try to build up this AI infrastructure or build up these AI accelerators and everything, it's going to cost a ton of money where they're going to have to end up spending in their own pockets. Because investors, again, they want to see results. They're not there to just give you money just to watch you build it and you're not gaining any profits. I mean, look what happened again to Sam Altman and OpenAI. He's got to be embarrassed about what's going on. People are still using the free ChatGPT over going with ChatGPT Plus and his paid subscriptions. So just imagine all these companies now are going to they have to pay out of pockets. No more borrowing from the bank or investors anymore. So Met Titty says, "Hi, I just bought the F125, but my PC is so bad." Oh, what happened? What are your specifications? Wasabi says, "That's my Gigabyte 50s." Oh yeah, you got the 5070 Ti gaming overclock. A great card, by the way. I can't wait to share some more news for our wonderful members here once we go into that stream. So, any idea why AMD and Intel stocks went up yesterday? Is it because of the two model release that I'm pretty sure that's part of it. But for AMD and Intel, I gotta say, I feel that they're gonna be the ones that constantly go up. Nvidia is going to be the one that's a shaky one, I would feel. But again, I'm not going to give financial advice as This is more of a PC hardware channel. So I bought the 9850. I think to regret my decision, but we'll see how it goes. No, it's, honestly, you bought a decent CPU. Definitely one of the best CPUs that are out there currently. Of course, you have to spend an extra $50 for the 9850 X3D if you're willing to spend it, and obviously you are. You have one of the best gaming chips out there, but just keep in mind, just make sure to keep an eye on SoC voltages because they are sensitive. Now, of course, there's not a lot of current cases when with the 9850 X3D just quite yet, but it does still follow the same wattage when it comes to the 9800 X3D. So, Amir says, "Hey, I have managed to get G-Skill 8400 megatransfers to stable now. And did you use the dim fit? Was it Amir? Because and were you able to? So you just bumped up the voltages. Okay, that's what you did. Buying Ryzen 5070 is still good in this economy. 4070. What? Uh, yes. Yeah, go ahead. Buy a Ryzen 4070 wherever you find that. So, xenomorphing PNY being on the bottom of the list insults all of us. I it does. I bought my first AM5 used to 37950X. Womp womp. Uh, hey, honestly, I miss that processor. I miss my 7950X3D. I feel like it was an awesome processor. That's exactly where it belongs. It's great for us consumers and AMD and Intel. I feel not. I think they have pressure to give only to data centers to increase profits. Well, again, they're trying their best to make the most that they can out of AI and increase their data centers. I mean, AMD is coming out with these massive server racks. It's insane, like how tall they are. Uh, I just built a PC spec. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Feel free to post it then. And you might have to upgrade your motherboard if you get a new CPU, especially one of those new CPUs. Well, if you get a okay, speaking of which, Zen 6, for anyone that's curious about Zen 6, I'd say you would have to make sure you have a 64 megabyte BIOS in order to work with Zen 6. It's a very strong indicator for that because every new motherboard that we saw at CES from MSI, from Gigabyte, from ASUS, they all have a new 64 megabyte BIOS for this upcoming for Zen 6. They haven't officially announced it. They haven't said anything about Zen 6, but it seems like that's a strong indicator for it. The good thing is, I don't think there's going to be any type of delay when it comes to their wafers. But again, I don't like for the fact that Nvidia did. I don't know if I told you guys this one, but Nvidia did demand a bit more a bit more wafers out of TSMC, like 2 times more. And if that's the case, that's not a good thing because then, of course, that can also affect processors and even GPUs. So I'm curious to see where TSMC stands on this. And that was actually one of the reasons why Jensen Huang was over in Taiwan at that time because he was trying to make a deal with something like this. So again, we'll see how that goes. If that's the case, then that won't be good on the TSMC side. But hopefully they already have their orders full as it is. I'm pretty sure they got their whole itinerary for the rest of this year. So again, when it comes to TSMC, let's hope that they are a bit smarter when it comes to the wafer side. But they can produce better wafers much more quicker compared to something like SK Hynix. Not really better wafers, but they can have a much more higher yield, really, which practically means that more failures are acceptable out of their wafers because then they can, but they can produce more out of it too. So it's really about more quantity than anything. So a company that ignores me says that Micron did will be ignored by me. We made companies what they are today, so better not forget us. Absolutely. And that's what brought me to my question. Like, if any of these companies ever were to come back with Micron, would you be willing to give them a chance? Would anybody out there want to continue purchasing Micron? Say if they said, "Hey, we're back into the consumer market. In fact, since we're back, we want to do it into introductory rate for everybody. When we want to give fair value to everybody when it comes to pricing. Do you want to purchase our SSDs? Do you want to purchase our RAM? Would you give them a chance? And I'll throw that poll out there just out of curiosity. Would you give Crucial a chance? Again. And here we go. I'll throw it out there so you can easily put 1 or 2 to make a vote onto the poll. So Ernesto says $1 trillion. Yeah, practically. You have like the head honchos there. So Gigabyte all the way. So I just built a PC. He has an Ultra 7 265K, a Z898. I love the board, by the way. The 48 gigabyte 8800 CU DIM. Yeah, Amir's gonna be definitely friends with you with this one. RTX 5090 Founders Edition, 1300 watts PSU. I bought it all right after the New Year's price hikes. Yeah, if you bought it right before then, anyone who's bought it like in December, I'm glad you guys did it because at least you got a decent deal. I tried to get everyone to really go for it in December because I knew that was going to be definitely the final pricing, like a decent pricing you'll get for GPUs or a decent pricing when it comes to NVMe's. Not really decent, but better pricing than what it is today. And obviously RAM, that's up in the air. And we definitely will check out their price graph because I am curious. We're gonna look at RAM price graph, and we're gonna go to memory prices, and we're gonna go check it out down here. So we got a 50-50 mix so far about giving Crucial a chance. So Rugal says, oh, when it comes to HBM gaming cards, there was the Titan V and the Radeon. Yes, there was. And that's the thing. Now, you know what the crazy thing is? They could come out with HBM4. That's what they currently have today. So HBM3E would be smarter to go because it's not as expensive as HBM4. So that's right, Rule. I would say that would be a way to look at it. I got an RTX 5090 FE Founders Edition launch day last year. I paid. Oh, really? That's right, you did. What's up, Mr. Curry Bun? Hey, I have a question. You told people to update BIOS for people who use 9800 X3D. Yes, not as much because your wattage is much higher. But if you were to adjust it, the SoC voltage is pretty much the same. It's 1.15 to 1.25. 1.3 is like the maximum, but anything over 1.3, say you go 1.35 or 1.4, then it becomes a bit more higher risk. So far that's pretty impressive. You have a lot more people saying no now that they're not going to give Micron a chance. Yes, let me see. You want me to call Jonah over? I can call Jonah over, guys. He's been on his bed. He's been acting like an old senior dog recently. So Reload says, "Hi, bro. I'm getting the 7900 XT and the 5070 at the same price. I don't know what to get. I would say I'm assuming you're getting the 5070. Again, 5070 would be the way to go. 5090 Founders Edition can be still find an MSRP. If you still can find a 5090 MSRP, go for it. Definitely go for it. That would be an advantage, guys. I have to save some money. There's a website that has 5080 Hatsune Miku Edition for less than 1.9. That's funny. For anyone that wants a Hatsune Miku edition, I gotta say, good luck. I do love the colors in my card. It's a beautiful card. Bought my GPU back in September. I thought 1K for the 5080s Founders Edition was too much. Yeah, we did. That's what I thought. I thought you invited him, somehow invited him in, Brutal. I'm going to go try to pull Jonah over. How's that sound? Let me try to bring him in here. Let me see. I don't think I got his camera hooked up either. Where is that camera? I'll try to bring him in, but I'll try to get him back here. I don't know if you guys can see back there, really, right? You guys can't really see the floor behind me. So Mr. Poi says, I remember when people were molding over 5090 price. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, it just like keeps getting more depressing. You can only think that everything was going for the uptrend at least. Uh Thank you for subscribing, Rampage.
Reload Rampage, subscribe to the channel.
Vertical stream? Yes, I have two. I have two streams going. So if you don't want to see the vertical stream, I do have the horizontal stream as well. So this is just going to be for the two crowds, depending on which one you want to enter. And speaking of which, why does my chat look like that on the vertical? I just realized that. And it's probably, I have to fix this up too later. So all AIO perform pretty close. I get whatever you think is good. So I wanted to replace my aging 2080, but man, I was really hoping to get a card with more VRAM. But even like a 3090 is like one. Yeah, I know. It's all expensive. And speaking of which, if you guys can see that, hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. You can see that with this price graph, that's starting to stagnate a little bit, and if it continues, it's going to flatten out. We should hopefully see a dip sometime soon. I do expect it to happen. I think we're going to start to see stagnation really come to effect, and you're probably going to see this sit up there for a little bit, because when we checked out the 64 mega not 64, true, now I'm talking way back, 64 gigabytes of RAM here, you can actually get it for like almost like a flat $800 for 64 gigabytes of 6000 megahertz of CL30. And it's no longer, oh wait, never mind, man, that just shut me up there. It actually went up again. Oh, your boss is gonna be pissed, Enresto. He's gonna be pretty pissed. Actually, remember how we were checking it on Wednesday, guys? Remember how much it was? That's kind of sad. It was at 805, and now it just spiked up to $947. Well, that's negative. That's a negative shift. So, oh yeah, this, let's see. My friend has a 7700X, and he wants to upgrade to a 9070. He should go for it. Go for the 9070X. It's a big difference. Obit says, damn, you've been posting since, not really posting since 2018. I've had the channel since 2018, but I've actually really started producing in, I'd say 2020, about 2020, I think it was. But I've had the channel always here. I changed my power setting from 100% to 99%. I saw a 9 to 10 degree drop in 9950X 3D, which gave me my mental sanity back before it was 54 to 58 idle. 7 hours of use. Well, it's not, that's pretty decent, to be honest. It's a much more higher watt processor, by the way.
At Inspire Rush super chatted $5. How much does it matter what kind of GPU you use to live stream? Example using a 3080 to a 5070 Ti.
Okay, so the best thing you can do, let me go back down here. Go back to that super chat. Oh, my thing's all messed up here. What's up, Red Tech Ever? So how much does it matter when it comes to a GPU to a live stream, when it comes to using a 3080 and to a 5070 Ti? The encoders. That's what's going to be important. So if you are looking to stream, I would highly recommend using, it does matter. You get a much better encoder if that's the case. Nvidia, between the 3080 and 5070 Ti, it's not going to be a massive difference, but 5070 Ti can give you the better Nvidia encoders, and it's much more stable. Of course, it gets better over time when it comes to it. So that's where it matters when it comes to the streaming side. So if it does happen, I might get, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, Inspire Rush. I really do. And wait for Zen 6. I have done that upgrade. Basically nothing I would notice for FPS numbers, but 7800X 3D is just as good as a stock 9800X3D. So, okay, yes, I can understand that because again, it's only a 10 to 15% IPC difference when it comes between the two. So, unless you really, the 7800X3D is an excellent processor. It still is. So, if you can find it for a decent deal, there's nothing wrong with going with that direction. Even with the 9800X3D, if you choose to go that way.
At Cheritard 91 super chatted $5. I really want to get a kit of T-Force Stream ARGB. That diffused lighting looked really good. What AIO cooler do you recommend for overclocking?
Okay, so when it comes to AIOs for overclocking, this all depends on the type of case that you're going and the type of you have the 9950X3D as well, right? Yes, based only on hardware. No, I did not see that leak, Mr. Curry Bum. But to go back to Tard's question here, I would say for AIO purposes, honestly, Corsair actually makes decent AIOs. Or you can even go to NZXT's Frozer, or if you're looking for a bit more of a budget, you can even go with. I'll show you. You can even go with Thermalright. Thermalright actually makes really decent AIOs, and they actually keep your PC nice and chill. So Thermalright's really good. Corsair is excellent as well when it comes to their AIOs. But yeah, I would say you'd be happy with either of them. NZXT has decent AIOs as well. So if you're overclocking, I would go with them. I don't prefer Enermax. Enermax isn't really good. I feel that they're a bit more problematic than actually being decent. Simply Takuma, what's up? So I was looking and waiting until Zen 6, until Antec Flux M for my next build. Okay, so if you're waiting for a Zen 6, I would say those would be some great options. In fact, we could actually look for it right here. We'll go to the AIOs, and we're going to go to, let's see, air cooling, water cooling, and then we're going to go to AIOs. It's funny how they list it as water cooling kits, but Arctic is a good one. Montec, nah. Montec, I'm sure is good. Lily's decent, but I would say for sure, Arctic cooling is the way to go. Is one of the ways for sure to go. Asus is decent, but I honestly feel Corsair is really good. The Kraken, NZXT's Kraken's really good. Let's see. We will be getting the Hydro Shift for our upcoming build, so I will be testing that. And let's see. We're going to go over to the next one over here. Corsair. And let me see. Let me see if they have Thermalright as well. I'm going to filter it out here. CPU cooler brand. Thermalright. Yeah, they do. And if you're a bit more on a tighter budget, this is the way to go to. No, they don't have it. They have a 360 version of this you could go to, and it's a bit more budget friendly, but this is a decent one. Of course, you're going to get the Mind Cube, which is a nice one. They do have that, actually. That's what I was looking for. This one's 360. So that one is also a decent one as well. So I am on budget and I need a video recording and editing CPU, motherboard, RAM, and cooler. I have a 5070. So if that's the case, if you're a bit on the budget and you're looking for mainly video recording and editing, are you planning to game at all on it? I do certainly need to know that. If not, then I would highly, yeah, just let me know which direction you're planning on going before I proceed on answering your question. So, Mythic says, get a Y70 case and get a AIO. This guy, Corsair Nautilus 360RS ARGB liquid CPU cooler. Yes. The Corsair Nautilus. Awesome. It's an awesome choice. It's amazingly cool how their AIOs are. And they are super reliable when it comes to their cooling. Arctic, yes, they're decent too. Arctic is also decent. That's why I had to bring them up. Um, Almost that's who I was trying to think of. Let's see. Some Oh no, Takuma and Wasabi. Now he's stuck on the Hatsune Miku edition. Thermaltake CT140 ARGB Sync PC cooling fans. Okay, so let me go back to over here, guys. Because speaking of memory pricing trends, I originally thought it was going to pretty much stagnate, but this is telling me otherwise. It has me a bit concerned. We're gonna go back to the memory here. The Hydro Shift 2 as well, but I don't know if the tubes will clear the VRM heatsink on the B850M power. It looks a little bit too big. Yeah, if the it depends on your casing. Um one on that motherboard, you would have to definitely kind of fit it. Like try to somehow work on the fitment more than anything. So from what it looks like here, Corsair's Vengeance has gone up to $948 originally from the pricing over on Wednesday, which was originally at 805. Now, the pricing kind of fluctuated. It went from $869 back all the way down to $805, which was the lowest we've seen it. And then hopefully we were hoping for much more lower pricing then, but unfortunately it kind of bounced back up to $948, as that's probably the new demand which Corsair is asking for. Now, G-Skill Flare X5, their 32 gigabytes is 420, so that's kind of been stagnant. And same thing with Crucial's memory, the CL36, been holding steadily at 326. Everything else has been pretty much the same. The only thing that has changed from the looks of it was the pricing when it came to when it comes to Corsair's Vengeance RGB 6400, not 6400, 6000 megahertz. Now the Trident Z5 Neos, they're CL28, but this is a much better deal if you were to pick between the two, because then you can actually get CL28, and this is actually at 6000 megahertz. And this is actually the same one Takuma one actually has. So, what's up, Robert? Good to see you. Mythic. You're flexing. So, I used to run Intel, but got sick of Intel dropping the ball all the damn time. No, I get it. I was really hoping. I feel really disappointed about the 290K. Actually, that was the processor I was really hoping to get for this upcoming build that we have, which is going to be on Project Aura. If that's not the processor we're getting, I'm definitely going to have to make a poll, because I was thinking, could we go Arrow Lake refresh, or are we now stuck with that 290K? Do we really want to continue on with the 290K? Not problematic. It's a great processor. Or does everyone want to see like a refresh? Does everybody want to see Arrow Lake refresh processor and see how the performance is on it? So I need a CPU, a motherboard, and RAM, and a cooler for video recording and editing for recording Minecraft. Okay, so for Minecraft, um, yes. So for Minecraft, I would say if you are able, is it two? You mean 285K? You mean, yes? I meant the 285K. That's exactly what I meant. But I thought it was the the 290K. Yeah, now I'm getting thrown off by the numbers here. I need a CPU, motherboard, RAM, and cooler for video recording. If you need it for something like Minecraft, and you have a 5070, I'm assuming you're not going intense editing. If you're not, I would go ahead, and if you have a 5070, just go Intel. To be honest, go with the Intel processor, because that's going to be better fit for your needs if that's what you're focusing more on, recording and editing. Intel's a bit more friendly when it comes to editing programs. So if you want to go into more of that realm, I would say go with the Intel 285K then. If you want to go with a decent CPU, if you can't afford, say, like a 285K, you want to go a bit cheaper, 265K would definitely be the next option. So, but let's see what Intel is cooking up this time. I have new Intel's next gen Nova Lake will tackle AMD's Ryzen X 3D, but only with these pricey K models. 144 megabytes, big last level cache response to. You know, I that's the thing. That's what I was thinking. And Vcache will only come unlocked on desktop parts. So Intel's next gen Nova Lake, you like the Atmos stealth, AIO, but holding L. No, I get it. I certainly get it. Intel's next gen Nova Lake will finally tackle. I I just hope they do. I don't know what they're doing at times. It's like I all of them, like AMD, Intel. You're thinking that they're going to come out with something decent, and then somehow they end up dropping the ball, like with disappointment. And then next thing you know, they're talking about AI, and honestly, nobody cares about that. I don't think anybody wants to see anything AI anymore. But not to speak on everyone. But it sounds like, so it looks like most people wouldn't give Crucial a chance again. So we're going to end that poll, and I will have a next poll coming up in a bit. Please look on video cards. Okay. What do you want to see on video cards, Amir? The issue with Intel, they mix E cores and P cores. They cripple performance. You know what they usually do is that Intel likes to go a bit more E cores, and when they go more E cores, that actually ends up helping the performance on that side. But most people get it mixed up, like when it comes to the P cores. So I already have 13400 and the 16 gigabytes DDR4, but I want to move to AMD. I'll just go ahead and do so. Obviously, it's easier said than done, right? Especially today's pricing. As you see, the pricing for the Corsair's Vengeance is demanding more. That's insane. What are they thinking? I can't believe they did that. One more info. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Let's go video cards, guys. We're gonna go check out Intel's latest news, and which, of course, Intel's. Oh, that's interesting. Intel's Core Ultra 200K plus reviews in 6 weeks. So Intel unannounced Core Ultra 200S Plus desktop refresh may have a leaker HXL claims that the review embargo for the Ultra 7270K Plus and the Ultra 250K KF is set, or K and KF is set for March 23rd at 2026. There you go, guys. Apologize for you vertical guys out there. So it seems that Intel has not publicly announced the 200S Plus desktop. So how's that? So I wonder what the specs are on this 200K. I am really curious about it now. If they drop this 200K. Okay, so the Ultra 7 270K Plus and the 250K Plus. So those are the two main ones that they are planning to drop, but has not publicly announced the 200S Plus desktop stack. So what is the 200S then? Is that going to be, my curiosity is that going to end up being falling under all the other processors, or is it going to end up being a bit more advanced? So too bad we don't see a Barrett Lake CPU for a socket 1700. I would love to. Yes, I think a lot of people would. So how many watts is going to be? We're going to find out. I'm assuming it's going to require the same amount of wattage. Again, 125 watts. Yeah, so not. I knew it was going to be the same. Of course, the max speed's going to hit 250. 200S is the one that's starting me off. I had no idea how that's going to look like. 24 core specs with 8 P cores and 16 E cores. So that was the Legend 290K. And then the 270K Plus would be expected to land at 24 cores and leaks. That's pretty wild. 24 cores and leaks. And then dropping the 290K would reduce the stack overlap at the top end. The question is anyone waiting for this update? Some people are waiting for that. I'm waiting for the update, so that way we can go ahead and do this build. 200 special, I know. Like what's that supposed to mean? Disabling them means the unnecessary physical distance on the ring, plus when the P core needs data from the A slice 3 from another P core. I'm waiting to see if the new GPU is going to crush AMD and Nvidia. The Bolt Zen. You know, I seen it at CES, but for some reason I did not pay too much mind to it, and I just ended up like walking right by their booth. I feel terrible that I did, but I should have stopped by their booth to take a look at them. No channel point redemption for I. Yes, I do need to drink some water. I do. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Poi. It's basically like a gaming laptop that just needs hardware encouragement. You know, thinking of it, Nvidia has always been RAM stingy. They have made the GTX 580 1GB and 3GB versions and made it way more of 1GB version, even though it was capping the card. They also made 3070 Ti 8GB card, which, let me see, I'll highlight your statement. And while in the end of the world the card is useless today's world, it was given 12GB or 16GB. It would have been a nice second-hand option, even like for the 6800 XT, and in retrospectively future destroying it. Yeah, well said and well put. And when you do honestly think of it, they've always been that way. Um, you would always hope to get more out of Nvidia, and they never gave you that extra oomph that everyone was looking for. But yeah, that's just how they've been. So yeah, it's a bit. I'm a bit curious. I do have a short coming out for this whole 290K thing, if anyone is curious. Also, let's see. This was the other one that I wanted to report to you guys, and this is a bit unfortunate because this is supposed to be the top uh, end line, but it says Intel has now publicly announced the Ultra 200S, the special. Oh, so it's no wonder why people get confused by Intel's naming scheme, because this would definitely 100% throw it off. Nvidia needs. Well, see, Nvidia. Think of it like this: Nvidia is now with Intel, right? They have a deal with Intel, so
Ron Lay subscribed to the channel.
thank you for subscribing. They are with Intel now. They do have that deal now. Now that they're in good, now they can finally have. And we joked about this, the x86 architecture they've been looking for a long time, and now that they can actually create their own CPU if they wanted to, if that was the case, or they can even borrow from the x64 architecture and go ahead and build a processor that way. But the problem is, would you truly want Nvidia to dominate everything? Because if that's the case, you feel that the processor price is bad now. How much do you think it would be for Nvidia processor if they were actually decent? Of course, it's going to be, they're going to at first have competition such as AMD and Intel. But if Nvidia comes into the game, and eventually, say if they did end up over dominating one other company, then one company would certainly cease to exist for sure. Um, but yeah, I would be curious to see how that would go, or if that would really be fair competition. It does make you curious. Yes, work, work, awesome. Oh, we do have the commands for it. We do have the lurk command, by the way, just to let you know, if you want to. But thank you for popping in. Uh, so if another card maker gives VRAM and decent performance, they can have my damn soul at this point. Anything them funding enough. You know, it's funny. I was speaking to somebody about this. I was speaking actually to my wife about this, about how she about Jensen Wong, about his leather coat, and she says the reason why he has that jacket is because apparently he has like skin issues, so he needs to have a special coat. I'm like $17,000 for that coat though. That's how much it is. It's like a 17 or $20,000 coat. It's expensive. But yeah, that is funny though. It's hilarious. Uh yeah, we'll definitely be, all we have to do is purchase like quite a few 30 not 30 purchase a few 5090s, and there it goes. So here it is. Now this is a bit curious. is the 5090 Lightning Z at 165,000 Taiwan dollars and 10 winner lottery. So this is actually worth about what is it? $6,000? No, $5,200. So $5,200 card here for the MSI Lightning. So can you imagine you just get purchase eligible. It's almost like the Matrix, like where you have to have extreme luck to be able to get your hands on it. So what card would you get up, a 5070 Ti or the RX? Now, if I had to choose between the two, to be fair, if it was strictly for gaming and for 1440, I would 100% go more for the 9070 XT. Now, if I was using it for more of a editing, streaming, a multitasking rig, 5070 Ti would be where I would go. Yes, you have quite the few RTX 5090s. Peak capitalism to have opportunity to get absolute. That's the thing, right? Point. That's exactly Mr. Point. It is to consume. And it's crazy to think that this is like we're getting used to hearing these higher prices, right? And that's scary when you think about it. Like 5200 is something that you can hear more easily these days. 6000 for the Asus ROG Matrix 5090. That's something you do hear a bit more often now. But again, hopefully these pricing can definitely chill a bit. At least you still have fair pricing when it comes to something like this. Thank God we have a Micro Center, right? We're not getting used to it, but my pay is. I agree, Kilobyte. Yes, I agree. We can get used to it, but our pay is not. Rugal says I wasn't looking. There is rumors of a performance and 4 efficiency and a performance and 8 efficiency Ultra 2 CPUs on the way. That's a nice. That would be a nice blend there. Absolutely. So my Matrix cost around 6,500 on your country with tariffs. Yes, very expensive. Ain't that crazy? Everyone definitely give Simply Takuma a round of applause for that pricing. Because to be able to handle that. Ah, man, I give it to you, Takuma. I wish I had as much to spend. That is 100% a win. You got to definitely post it on Discord because we will definitely share it onto the channel here. But this one, a decent kit for anyone that is looking to build a brand new PC. This would be the way to go, is go with Micro Center's kits. You can go with the AMD bundles. They have, of course, this is the only one. Even the 7600X is a great way to start off with if you don't have a high-end budget. AMD Ryzen 7600X with a B650E, decent enough. Of course, you only get 1 stick of RAM. Yes, hopefully you get that card without issue. I know they ended up delaying it, but that's insane that the delivery truck broke down on you. That almost sounds like something out of a movie. Like it was an inside job that the delivery truck was like they know that there's a ROG 5090 Matrix sitting in the delivery truck and it breaks down and they end up like just clearing out the truck, make it seem like everyone took every package but they were aiming for the 5090. So, what AM4 CPU do you think would be paid best with the 3090 that's not a 5800X3D? Okay. So, you want an AM4 CPU and you have a 3090, but you don't want what are you trying to attempt to do? Is it? Are you trying to game or are you trying to do things like editing or feel free to post it because then, or feel free to mention it in the chat because I would love to know. You just got to share a bit more details on it. Mythic says, because I have the 7800X3D with 64 gigabytes of RAM and the 4070 Ti, and I think its older 4070 Ti is holding me back. Yeah, so you feel like you're getting a bit of throttle from it. No, I can get that. So you'd be amazed how much aluminum cans adds up in recycling refunds. You know, there's one factor that most people have to look at too, like when it comes to PC components. I go on a website called Trading Economics, right? And what I will do is I will go up here on Trading Economics, right there, so you guys can see it. And I typically go over to the commodity side. There's a reason for it. This is PC related, just to let you guys know. But you'll see the price of gold, silver, and copper, all important components. Like when it comes to PC builds, now it's definitely gone down dramatically compared to what it was originally. Like if you take a look at, say, copper, you can see how much more it flattened out, and this is also a reason for cost to go up. And also gold, obviously it's pumped up quite a bit, and now it's finally like kind of calming down a bit. And same thing when it comes to silver. So these are all pretty important components, where items that they use when it comes to some PC components out there. So it's a good thing that we're starting to see this calm down. This has a big, large effect when it comes to pricing, and especially when it comes to things like the whole PC making process. When it comes to either your RAM or your motherboards or anything of that matter. The other thing is that I want over to Linux Bakelite, and I know that the drives for Nvidia cards they're versus AMD. Should I buy a gaming PC or should I wait? Is that a pre-build better than assembling? I found a pre-build at 2,000 euros. I deal with that with. I mean, you can assemble a PC. You don't have to spend a ton of money on building a PC. Of course, there are items out there that can be quite costly when it comes to a PC build, but it's better to go with these bundles, and then you can actually see that the building a PC is not too expensive. This is like the majority of the build here, because when you get the PSU and you get the GPU of your choice, if you go with something like a 9070 XT, you might be surprised that it's actually decent. One of the things that I learned that chips being sent out to data centers are one-in-one compatible with consumer. Uh, Data centers are not one-in-one compatible with consumer GPUs. So even if they have bubble pops, it's not going. No, that's the biggest thing, and that's why I try to tell everyone is that it's not going to go back to normal pricing. It's more or so. It's going to be lower than what it is today, but it's that I don't think it's never going back to that pricing that we're used to seeing back in, say, 2025, early 2025 at least, because now this is like the new norm. So incredible. Now gold isn't. It's insane, right? Gold's insane. 5060 Ti and 16 gigabytes of 64 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, decent. Simplicity says, I did a price list for my PC cost at the moment. I paid $900 USD when I built it. Yesterday on a price list from the PC parts, it came up to $2,089 USD. It didn't have my monitor of choice. Oh, that sucks. At least you got your PC parts all pretty much built together. Yes, Bazite is amazing. I actually got a couple videos on it. I put it onto the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X, and I wonder what that sound was. That was odd. Oh, awesome! Thank you for subscribing, Mr. Poi. I appreciate
Mr.
it.
Underscore Poi just subscribed.
um, and I do have to say, when it comes to it, I do appreciate it, Mr. Poi, once again. Yes, I have a couple videos on it. I have it on the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X, and I've installed it on the actual full out PC as well, on the 9070 XT PC. If you want to see how to, of course, you probably tried it yourself. What's everybody's thoughts of it, by the way? Has anyone else experienced Bakelite or any other type of Linux gaming? Matter of fact, I'll throw that up there as the poll. Have you tried Linux gaming? Have you tried Linux gaming? There you go, guys. Have you tried Linux gaming? You put one or two. Let me know what you uh if you tried it before. So for anyone that's just getting into building, this is decent. Like if you're playing Fortnite, you're probably playing things like Minecraft, even more advanced games. Let's say Battlefield 6. This is a great way to start off with 350. So I had it. I had to because I had a Steam Deck for a bit. It's a little more technical and requires some troubleshooting, but I think there's potential. I agree. I feel that Steam Deck's it is a great handheld device, but unfortunately, of course, with today's standards, it's it's a bit out of spec currently now. Now, luckily, there is a lot of other handheld devices that can certainly switch over to backlight if you'd like to try them out. I tried even up to a Lenovo Legion Go 2 for everybody out there to show you what it was like. And I can certainly say, like, out of all of them, I like the Asus's so far. I'm going to try to attempt to get MSI's handheld, and we can definitely test it out and see how backlight runs and everything on there. And um, FC Toho says, "Do Linux drivers just work on a 50 series Nvidia?" Pretty much. They kind of work. They've actually improved. They actually just released new more like a new not driver. It's more like a kernel that they have released when it comes to Linux. I think it was just last week, in fact, or 2 weeks ago, when Nvidia is more compatible now with when it comes to Linux hardware. So Mr. Boy says, it's out of spec when the Nintendo Switch 2 of all things is faster. Absolutely. It's Nintendo Switch 2. How many people out there actually has a Nintendo Switch 2 out of curiosity? And for anyone that wants to vote, just put one or two. Even though it's on the screen, it looks clickable. It's not. Just put one or two. That's how you vote. But if the Switch 2, again, it's decent, but it's equivalent of like a RTX 3050, like a embedded RTX 3050. And I gotta say, it was a bit disappointing when they came out because usually Nintendo's really good when they come out with a console, and they're usually quite innovative when it came out to every single release. But this time, when it came to the Nintendo Switch 2, I was honestly disappointed. I thought it was going to be a bit better. I thought it would be something different besides using the Joy-Con as a mouse. And I was hoping that when it comes to the Switch 2 OLED edition, hopefully it's a bit better. More than likely, I'll get a Switch then, but um, I'm waiting until that day at least. So I do, but entirely incidentally, I got for $250. Oh, really? Which specs did you get, by the way? Oh, really? That is funny. You got it for $250. Oh man. I wish I knew. If it was $250, then yeah, why not? Wish I would have bought a Steam Deck. What's up, Gas Out? Good to see you. Welcome in. Yeah, so for anyone that's trying to build a PC, if you're curious about what's going on with the whole AI situation, or you're curious about Nvidia, how they completely stopped the production, this is all due to excuse me. This is all due to memory shortages. This all has to do when it comes to RAM just ending up not being, well, the wafers really not being produced enough. When it comes to the VRAM, when it comes to your favorite DRAM, when it comes to your NAND, and hence why everything is so expensive. But Micro Center, man, I don't know how they do it, but they are impressive. They are like inflation proof when it comes to some of these packages that they have. Well, they try to be at least. Because you take a look, $350, you can actually get a stick of RAM and a decent processor, 7600X, and you do have a B650E motherboard. Or if you have a little bit of more money, you want to get like more of an X3D variant, you do have that option. You have the 7800 X3D 2, and I mean not 2, 7800 X3D, and you get $600. You get 32 gigabytes of RAM, and plus you get a tough gaming motherboard. So typically with the RAM, as you've seen, to get a kit of RAMs usually about in the high 300s to $400, and Of course, Micro Center gives you the bundle where it's a bit more affordable, if that's the case. So 15 units, somehow almost 12 2K viewers. Oh man, that's insane. But at least you were one of the ones that clicked on it quick. Curious, I can only Facebook Marketplace there more. Oh man. So then I discovered it needed a special type of micro SD. So I had a full experience on the Switch 2. Oh really? What? So you need a full SD for a Nintendo Switch 2? Really, to enjoy the experience. You know what threw me off about the Nintendo Switch 2 is that when you're gaming on it, and if you want to play any of your cartridges, that's no longer like how it used to be. Or you install your cartridge or your card or however you would like to call it today, you would install it into your Nintendo Switch 2, and instead it would download it into your Switch 2. So you need to have the storage capability to be able to have the game on there. So it's no longer just playing off the card or cartridge. Yes, this is Micro Center, guys. So if you're looking for decent deals, Micro Center is a good, decent place to go. Newegg's decent, but you have to catch the deals when Newegg is good. Like if we went to Newegg here, their bundles start off pretty wild.
Raxma is now following.
Oh, thank you for following, Raxley. Um, I gotta say, when you look at their bundles, you just see $800. So you're like, damn, that's a lot of money already. But I mean, it is a 9700X that you're looking at. So it comes with 250 of gigabytes of internal storage, but the SD card is a special type called the micro SD, called the micro SD Express. So it's a type of transfer data. It's a total pain, especially if you're over the limit like I was. Absolutely. Have you tried Batocera for Raspberry? No, I have not. I have not tried Batocera. How is it, by the way? How is your thoughts of it? So that is insane, though. You need a special type of SD card. I did see Nintendo start to produce them. Like I did see some of the different editions that they did have. Let's go ahead and try to build an option here. Like we can try to imitate like almost like a Micro Center build. And if we were to do that, we have to select a, say, AMD processor. We're going to go ahead and select, wow, they've got the 5500 on there, 89 bucks. Let's say we go with so the lowest one that they have, we're on a bit of a budget, just say. We'll go with the 7600X, right? We can go with the 7600X. So I bought the Nintendo 2DS. Okay, nice. Raxelme says, I got a 3090 off of a friend for mainly cheap, so I'm trying to game on a 1440p. Seems like not a great time for a AM5 build with DDR5 prices. So I was trying to find a good AM4 CPU for a ITX build. Okay, so you're trying to find a decent... okay, so since you got the 3090 and trying to game on 1440p, so AM4, there you go. That's actually really cheap. At 5500 you could get it for 90 bucks, because most of the what you're going to be looking for is going to be off of the GPU. Depending on your games, if you're looking for more AAA titles, of course it's going to struggle. Then of course you can go, if you're lucky enough, you can find a 5600 X3D for a decent deal. That would be ideal. But if you can't, you can always go for something that's cheap as like a 5500. It's better to get the X variant, because then you can, it has a bit more power to it. And it also does give you more compatibility when it comes to the whole PCI Express lanes. So I just plan on a Ryzen 7 7800 X3D and get enough M5 motherboard. I'm willing to spend bigger cash on a essential hardware like GPU and CPU, and maybe more SSD. M.2 NVMe bubblegum. Yes, I get it. So a Ryzen 7800 X3D is certainly good enough to perform. I'm happy to hear that you're willing to purchase a bit more when it comes to essential hardware such as a GPU and CPU. So when it comes to a GPU, you want to make sure to have at least like something like a, let's say, If you're looking for editing and gaming purposes, of course, the RTX 50 series is great for that. Of course, gaming wise, if you're just gaming, honestly, RX 9070 XT, many people would be certainly happy with it. So if we were to try to do a combo, I'm really curious to see how they're going to do it, because we're going to go to do a motherboard and say we're trying to get like a cheaper motherboard here, like say similar to Micro Center's type of build. We go like with the B850. Maybe we can get a decent build here for a lot cheaper. Let's see. So they give you a very strict selection. So you go Asus, AceRock, MSI, Gigabytes, and they're only letting you pick from certain boards. So if we wanted to go cheap, you go B850A, just say. We'll go ahead and select that. So Rugel says on Peripheral News, Asus is going to, oh really, a new Pro Art mouse. Sadly, they removed the Pro Art dial. Oh really, that sucks. That would be nice if they continued to have that. I always like these type of features, like when they have the wheels and everything. So AMD Ryzen 7 7800 X3D B650. That's decent. That's my stomach's just like burping. Oh, that's really, that is a good deal. That is a awesome deal. So we can end this poll. It seems that most people have tried Linux gaming, and I gotta know, how do you like it? How do you like Linux gaming? What's up, Squeeze? Good to see you, Raxel. So it is the memory worth $437 a day. I paid $93. That's insane. Like if you can get memory for that cheap, that's a great deal. Take advantage of it. Yeah, no problem, Raxel. I'm glad it helped. I had to fight a few hours on my old. Oh, Squeeze. Always getting in trouble there. I'm I'm going to get a cheap card, like a really cheap card. Okay, go for it. So let's see. We're gonna go to the memory side. This is where I'm curious the most. So currently subtotals are already at $403. And if we get memory, you know it's going to be it's going to hit at least the, let's say, maybe we can make it like 6 or 700. Again, but this is a 7600X. This is where it makes it very hard for Newegg to compete with somebody like Micro Center. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to try to find a decent one. We'll try to find CL36. Doesn't have to be blazing fast. And we'll also put the speed at, say, 6,000, right? So that leaves us these options here. It gives us Corsair, where there's nothing cheaper. There we go. We got the Corsair CM16 GX5M2. Metal Face says Ryzen 7 7700X bonus AIO. Oh, really? That's a good one. Maybe we can swap that out. At least you get an AIO with it. That would be the better bonus. Of course, this would be the better one to go. So let's say we go with this one, right? And so together, this bundle is already $633. But if you go with what Metal Face says, let's go back to the processor side. See if we get a chance. Oh, in fact, also, even with the 7600X, you can get it. So you can get the free MSI MAG Core Liquid A13240 AIO cooler with it. And again, while you get, so technically this is actually decent. You get 4 of them all together here. And this will end up costing you, let me see, let me move this out the way here. Exit out of that. So the total is $633.99. So it's not bad. Honestly, that's not too bad. Especially you get all these components. Technically, you get 4 out of this. So this Newegg bundle is not bad. So if you get a 7600X, you get an MAG 240, plus you get Asus ROG B850, and you get Corsairs. Oh, wait a minute. That's one thing I didn't notice right there. You see the RAM? Yes, it's cheaper, but it is 16 gigabytes. Oh man, that would suck. So no wonder why it was so cheap. Okay, so let me go here. Let's go back over here. Man, so if you were to get 32, if you were to get 32, then it would cost about $200 more, roughly. We go again 6,000 megahertz and CL36 because, of course, CL30 is going to be crazy expensive nowadays. Okay, so even if you wanted this, just say if you swapped it out, honestly, I would like if you're on a strict budget and you need to get it from Newegg, if you don't have a micro center near you, this would probably be the best choice to go. You go to Corsair Vengeance RGB 16 gigabytes would probably be the way to go. So Alex said the great says 3050 most likely I don't mind if it's not new as long it's newish and it's better than that 580. Man, you had a 5090, but you ended up getting rid of it, Alex. That's even way better. And you probably regret selling it now because now it's even worth more money, which is insane. But 32 gigabytes used cheaper. Yes, you can get it used cheaper. Of course, that's always a great option for anybody out there that does want to get it used. I would say, yeah, definitely take a look at that. If you can get used cheaper and it's from like Newegg and from Micro Center, at least it's protected. But purchasing it off of Facebook Marketplace or any other retailer, it would be a bit sketchy. What do you think of? Oh, what do I think of MOB? Sorry, there are new inboxes. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, okay. If they're new in boxes, that's even better. MOB. Your motherboard. It's decent. I think it's good. You mean your motherboard, right? Oh, well, they can claim all they want because it is Facebook. We can't be certain for everything that they say. But I mean, it could be a store. Sometimes Facebook, their own stores, and they'll have it. Now they do have some example combos here. I'm curious. We'll try doing this example combo. We're gonna add that in and see what we get. So an example combo, this is what they give you. They give you the SRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi AM5, and then they give you this 9700X for 330, and then they give you they kind of uptick the price a little bit. No, we're thinking of the 7000 series, and then the Corsair 32 gigabytes, which is at 480, which would equal out to $800. Okay. Now let's compare this to Micro Center. Now if we go to Micro Center here, this is going to be different here. Do local. I'm gonna be honest. Cost for another 32 gigabytes, I might consider. Yeah. A lot of people do. A lot of people like the dummy kits because then at least it prevents dust from getting into your PC. Good thing is now modern PC cases, they prevent a lot of dust from coming in. Look at this one there. Okay, so we're gonna look at what was it? $800, right, for this kit. So roughly it would cost $800 for this kit. If you look at a Micro Center kit, right off the rip, you can get a $700 kit and you get the 9850X3D. What? And you get a X870. Now, honestly, how do you win over that? How do you win over that? 6,000 megahertz, and you get, this is CL36 for sure. I can say that for certain. CL36, 9850X3D, and X870p. So AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D, Asus B650E, tough gaming. It's a great motherboard, by the way. I know there's a bit mixed reviews about it. Crucial Pro overclocking 32 gigabytes, DDR5 6000 megahertz computer build bundle. Again, for everything that you have together, I think it's decent. That's right. Everything you did mention here is decent, especially for the pricing that it is. And this is all, was this all on Newegg as well? Because that's actually a fair deal, I feel. Facebook 96 gigabytes, 675. Oh, really? Hey, if you can cut the seal, then you go for it. Go for it. That's a really decent deal. I didn't even take the 5090 on the uh so that's the bundle I would go for if I was building right now. So 4237 Amazon, so I might consider it soon enough. Definitely. I don't blame you. Do you recommend the X870E 50? I do recommend anybody to get an X870E, especially if you are more of a person that will end up using more of the PCI Express side, because it will allow you to use. It gives you more lanes when it comes to PCI Express, so that's why it would be worth it. I think what one hell of a deal there. Yes, I think so too. Out of the box. Oh, okay, okay. So it's crazy that yeah, but it's crazy because you so you had it in the box, so and you sold it, then sold it, but you it's crazy because you probably could have even made more now, which is insane because as you sold it, 5090 pricing's up, like way up. Now, this one's an underrated card for anybody that's looking for a cheaper card, especially who wants to leave like Nvidia. And most people that leave Nvidia and get another gaming card buy like a AMD, which is like a 9070 XT, are usually happy with what they have. I mean, they do have it for $700, which is definitely much cheaper than you're going to spend on some one at 5070 Ti, because most 5070 Ti's now they're even over $1,000. So then get a RTX AMD Ryzen 7 7800X tough. I thought the if you get the X if you do get the X variant of the what was it, the X670E, right? Or the X870E. If you get either variant, that will allow more lanes if that's what you're looking for. It was this just, and you know, the crazy thing is the Asus Prime 5090 is actually worth money now. They're even up to, I'll in fact show you, like if you take a look at some of the graphics cards here, even the Asus Prime series is insanely higher than what it is. And we're going to go over to filter. We're going to go to brand Asus and the 5000 series and take a look at what their price is for the Prime. This is their tough. Here it is. The Prime. Oh wait, we're not on the 5090 side. If you take a look at the 5090 side, you would think it's crazy. You remember what I just remembered? Corsair sent me a. Oh yeah, I remember. Yes. Oh yeah, take it. That makes sense. That would make perfect sense to use that code then. See, look at the Prime. That is near the price of what the Asus ROG Astral was. RG Astral was originally at this mark where it was at 3,300 about, and now this is only $150 cheaper than what the original RTX 5090 Astral was in pricing. So that's how much it's went up, even for the Prime. But now the Astral's worth even more, of course, where it's at $3,509. It's insanely expensive. So if anyone was to want to purchase any of these cards here, you're looking at about 3,000 range, low 3,000 range for the lowest, cheapest one, which is the Asus Prime, over to even to the most expensive. The crazy thing is they had the Matrix here, but of course the store didn't have it in stock anymore. Let's include out of stock items. It appeared briefly. But now it's not even listed anymore. I did hear prices may be going down. It should. I'm more than likely it will go down. I think right now it's going to have a bit of volatility. So it's going to end up spiking up, spiking down. We've seen it with the memory side, for sure. It's really weird how Corsair just went from 64 gigabyte kit went from 800 and it was originally again $809, and now it's spiked up all the way to $959. So Detox Real says, I just bought Corsair Dominators. DDR5 two 16 gigabyte 4800 mega transfers for Ryzen 7 7700. Is it worth the buy? Again, for how much? It depends on how much. I have no idea what the price is. And that would definitely help me tell you if it's worth it. So Titan Splash has a Ryzen 9 9800 X3D, ASUS RTX 5070 Ti, ASUS TUF X870E, and he has CL30 non-RGB and CL36 RGB, and with the 360 millimeter AIO PSU 850 watts gold platinum Western Digital. It's a decent, it's a wonderful build. Any suggestions on the configuration? What are you using the build for? Then I can give suggestions. But overall, it's a very good build. So, but I do find it a bit interesting that you have. Are you thinking of picking out one between the two? If you were to pick, of course, CL30 is much better if you're going for gaming usage. Of course, it's better even like for if you're using it for some sort of streaming or even editing type of deal. But of course, you don't have the RGB. That wouldn't matter as much. If you care more about performance, if you do care about the eye candy, then of course you could go CL36. But again, the RGBs on the RAM won't really be that necessary, and you could always end up getting it cheaper in the future. So I had a rant and one of my retailers, and I wasn't. Yes, you were just talking about it too. I just saw about Case King that because again they're just going back and forth. It's the whole volatility issue when it comes to the pricing. By the way, the Discord link is grayed out. I think it is expired. Oh really? I can't. No way. Let me see. I went to go try to click it to see if it works. And does double checking it? No, it seems to be working. Let me see. If it's grayed out, it's probably on the other type of it's probably on the you're probably seeing it on the Twitch side more. Yo, yeah, thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. Mainly for gaming, I'll be using my first PC 8700K for. If that's the case, then I would just go ahead and go for the 6000 megahertz at CL30 non-RGB would definitely be the better way to go. And I would say the 9800 X3D is a great choice. The TUF X870E is nice. Also, oh wait, it's X870. Yeah, no, that's good. That's decent. I think you would be perfectly happy with this build. And I'm assuming you're gaming on a 1440, is it? Bad news. It was disappointing to not see any RTX. Yeah, it's honestly not too much of a surprise. I mean, we had an idea that it wasn't going to be that way, that they weren't going to have it. Let's see. Let me get rid of this guy. The upcoming RTX 60 series is delayed beyond 20. Yes, and that's the biggest issue. That's why I think you're going to see the prices start to stagnate a lot because of that, and that's going to be the main reason for it. Oh yeah, yeah. It sounds like he is. It sounds like he's on the way of it. Cheap deal on there. Save a yeah. Okay, so again, when it comes to these Nvidia cards, obviously Nvidia isn't going to be making any more or supporting when it comes to like 50 series Super or 6000 series. Of course, I'm pretty sure they have prototypes and ideas of what they want to do. The biggest factor is, of course, the memory. The memory is they're short on memory. There's only so much you can do with a GPU without VRAM. So you can't, and I'm sure the route they're going, especially a good indicator. Again, it's positive and negative at the same time. It's positive because it will force game developers to improve the quality of their games because now the 50 series will be out longer than intended. It's also going to indicate that more than likely the new consoles are going to end up being released. Obviously, it doesn't have to do with Nvidia, but even on AMD's front, hence why we haven't seen like a 9090 XT variant or anything like that. Um, we're not going to see a new generation of Xbox or PlayStation for 2026, even though it was slated for this year. AMD obviously says that the new Xbox is still progressing, that they are still planning to release, that they're getting their own custom SoC. So it's going to be a bit different than what your traditional GPU will be inside of your Xbox. Now they're trying to focus more of a much more larger, probably SoC, I would think, and we probably won't see that until 2027. It seems that everything will get pushed into 2027 if that's the case. So I'm hoping the GPU from the Bolt Zen is going to be good as it claims. I hope so too. It would be nice. I also have a Gen 4 2TB SSD, which is previous, but I'll be transferring my new PC and my old PC using the only 1TB Gen 3. And just to see it, and just to wait to see. And like if I have used the 5070 Ti with 2 Gen 4 SS, it will split. Yes. Well, you have, well, right now, what you have, again, is you have 2 Gen 4s, right? I also have a Gen 4, right? 2TB, and you'll be transferring it to your Gen 3. So if you're using 2 Gen 4 SSD is your question, will it split to, and no, it won't. It won't split your lanes. You should be okay.
Detox Real, 2ooks, subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. Because you have an X870 board too as well. And that's what will help it. You don't have to worry about the lane splitting as much. Only thing you would have to worry is the placement. You have to make sure of the placement of where you install it. Now, typically for ASUS, if you put it in, say, your main primary drive, your M.2, you install it on the M.2 underscore 1, it would be called. And you install it onto the M.2 underscore 4, you'll be good. Because I believe it is 2 and 3. If you install it into either one of those ones, then it will split the lanes. But if you install in 4, you'll be okay. And with the X870, I believe they have up to 4 or 5. So you should be pretty much in the clear. You just can't install over that. You can't install 3 or 4 drives, because if you do, then obviously it's going to split the lane down. But of course, some people won't really care about that as much. And they do have a factor where they do have an auto switch. Yeah, so there's 2 of them. It'll be 2 and 3, I believe. But just double check. Always double check the manual, but I believe that's what it is. 2 and 3 from what I remember. That will end up splitting the drive. So, FamM guys, I'd like to thank everybody that has been part of the stream. We will be going into the members only stream and the subscriber stream. So I will let you guys know. Then of course the latest update. And for everybody that is here part of the FamBam, I'll also post it just in case for anyone that missed it. What I will be doing for the next week is for the members only stream will be in the morning between 8 o'clock to 8:30, and then it will continue on to a regular stream from after on. So just to let you guys know, to give you guys all a heads up, so that way it would be a lot more easier. That way we can keep everything into one stream. And hopefully that sounds good with everybody. And for all you Twitch subscribers out there, it will go into subscriber mode only in just a bit. And we will still continue, of course, on our members only stream in just a bit. And hopefully you guys are excited for it. For anyone that is building a PC, feel free to join in the Discord if you have any questions. Certainly feel free to ask. And I do appreciate everyone that has joined in. And for anyone that is a member, hopefully you guys have a awesome weekend. And thank you guys again so much for joining into the stream. And before I go, I will answer Titan's splash question, which is which PSU would be best for a 850 gold or platinum. I would say if you're looking for power efficiency, you go for platinum. It has 95% power efficiency. 850 gold has 90% power efficiency. So go, if you care about saving on your electric bill, you go platinum. And hopefully that answered your question. And I'll see you guys on the other side. And thank you guys so much for joining in to this wonderful stream and everyone who has joined in on the members roundtable. Thank you guys so much and see you guys soon. No problem, Titan Splash.